Yeah, and we got Freedom Drive right next to it.
Yadde amawulire poliisi etutwala Ntaagi. Amawulire bonna baagala tukwata bukwasi.
That's my number. Ah, the toilet. Nice.
They are here to stay.
Crying in the...
You can hear it.
In case you see Evans.
But I came following him, and he was allowed to a certain point. I don't know which point, but I was not allowed at a certain point. As you branch where there's Freedom Drive, the policemen who were there would not allow me to go ahead. So I turned back, and just a few minutes, then I saw a police patrol vehicle that came out at high speed, and then I saw Honorable Zakei's vehicle and his driver, and in the same car there's a police officer who I cannot identify right now. So I followed them to, I wanted to know where they're taking him, and he was screaming. Actually, before they came out, I called Zake and his phone, and he was not answering. But then I called the driver, and he answered. And I was asking, what's wrong? Who is screaming? Who were those people screaming? Then he said, no, it's okay. So he switched off. When I called him again, he did not pick. And when they came out, so I followed them to know where they were taking him. Because even when he came out, he was screaming, and you would actually hear the screams. So I followed them to Kasangati police station. That's where they dropped him. They pulled him out of the car, but I think he was badly beaten. That's where he is right now. I haven't spoken to him, but I saw what was happening. Yeah.
Okay. So
Muluganda. Yeah, tuzze wano tuwadde nayo ka brief meeting nga tewali mutawaana gonna nga bintu bya mirembe naye tetujjidde emmotoka emu ne Honorable Zaake. So nze wentuuse wano ye babadde bamukkiriza okweyongerayoko naye nze awo ku Freedom Square wali akapande Freedom Drive abasirikale tebanzikiriza kuyitawo. Ne baŋŋamba nti totuwa explanation yonna ddayo buzzi. So ne nkyusa emmotoka nga nakatunula nsose bwe baŋŋaanye nenkuba essimu nga njaga kutegeera lwaki bagaanye. Nenkubira Honorable Zaake kuba mbadde nkitegedde nti nga takwata. Nenkubira driver we n'aŋŋamba tewali najjako mu ddakiika ntono nnyo nga nakakyuka bwe nti nendaba emmotoka ya poliisi eno gye bakwata mu kanalufeenya ako nga ejja ku high speed, nendaba n'emmotoka ya Honorable Zaake ng'egobera speed nga driver mwali nga mulimu n'omupoliisi. So nange nengoberera kubanga abadde akaaba nga mpulira screams, nengoberera okulaba wajalaga, nendaba nga babranchinga paka Kasangati ku poliisi. Nendaba nga bamuggyemu bubi nnyo nga balabika bamukubye ne bamuggyemu bubi nnyo. Kati nze mbadde mbirabira wano nga abamu tebamanyi oba nzaani. Nenvaayo naye simanyi eri bamukoze eki naye mbadde muwulira ng'akaaba ne wano we mbadde ng'etuyitako mpulidde ng'aleekaana nawali ne mulaba physically nga balabika bamukubye n'omusikayo bamuseeyo bwe batyo nga mbiraba.
I have just spoken to Honorable Chagulanyi on one of the phones, because what has happened, they have blocked my line, they blocked his line, his wife's line, and a couple of other leaders. These are, telecommunication lines, SIM cards, and so we can't quite communicate, but we've gotten other SIM cards that we are using to try and communicate. So there's one that I've used to communicate with him on another that he has. He is very concerned about what's happening. One, as you can see, none of us is allowed to access him. Anybody that tries to access his gate is gotten and beaten up. You journalists have tried to access, and you were chased away with threats of being beaten. We saw what has happened to Honorable Zake. So he got there and he was beaten. I was trying to access, and it is you journalists that said, no, please remain around because you'll be brutalized. There's people that were trying to take groceries to him and the wife, and those who are sent away as well. So clearly, they're cutting him off from everybody. So he's alone in the house with his wife. They've taken away the guards. Soldiers have actually jumped the fence and they're in the compound, loitering all over the place. He's very concerned about his security and his wife's security. They're in there, very isolated. They don't know what's going to happen next, whether these guys will break into the house and wreak havoc as they have been doing. They've also, interestingly, they've clearly cut off all forms of communication. They've cut off even DSTV connection, which he renewed yesterday, and then all of that. So he's in a blackout of sorts. Look, these things are being done by the regime because they are guilty. You know, the guilty run before they are chased. Because yes, you have organized an election. If you think you organized a free and fair election, why are you this scared? Why are you putting a very tight nose? You know, why aren't there NRM supporters jubilating all over the city and all over the country and all of that? Why are they putting our presidential candidate, Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, Bobi Wine, under arrest? Because effectively, he is under house arrest. In his communication to me, he's told me, one, to encourage Ugandans out there to remain strong. Because the state does all these different things to instill fear in the people, to try and cause them to drop the ball. He's telling them, please don't drop the ball. We must keep chasing the ultimate goal, and that is change of government. Because look, I think everybody now clearly realizes that now more than ever, we must change leadership. We must get sane leaders into power. Leaders that are not going to brutalize the people. Leaders that are going to be held accountable by the people. Leaders that will respect democracy, rule of law, and all the tenets thereof. And so he's telling Ugandans, remain strong, let's not give up, let's keep pressing on till the very end. You know, our goal is to see change of power. So yes, we have attained as NUP certain parliamentary seats. That's a good thing, you know. Yes, I'm happy I'm now an MP-elect, but that's not the ultimate goal. We didn't get into this just to attain parliamentary seats. Yes, parliamentary seats, that was one of the goals. We hoped to sweep the entire parliament, but most importantly, our desire was to see change of power. That has not happened yet, so we can't now begin to jubilate. We must keep pressing on every step of the way, using every avenue provided for in the law to see that change of government gets to happen.